They thought you'd be broken, crying, wishing they'd come back. But here's the truth, blocking them isn't power. It's just pressing delete on a problem you haven't solved. You see, real strength isn't in erasing someone from your life. It's in letting them stay right where they are, so they can watch, helplessly, as you evolve into someone they'll never have access to again. And here's the part that stings the most. The moment you stop reacting, stop chasing, stop proving, that's when they start noticing. It's human nature. When you cut someone off, you give them closure. But when you disappear without a trace, without a word, they're left with nothing but questions. And that's the real punishment. Because now they're wondering, why aren't they reaching out? Did they ever even care? Are they happier without me? Think about it. Have you ever scrolled through someone's profile just to see if they're suffering without you? Just to check if they're missing you? That's exactly what they'll do. Only this time, instead of finding a broken version of you, they'll see someone who's glowing, growing, and thriving. And trust me, nothing haunts a person more than watching you become the version of yourself they always wished you'd be, just without them. Take a real-life example. How many times have you seen someone move on, level up, and suddenly the person who left them starts lurking? Exes come back. Fake friends try to reconnect. Why? Because success, happiness, and self-improvement create a gravitational pull. When you stop begging for attention, you become the one they chase. So, before you block them, ask yourself, am I doing this for me, or am I doing this because I still care? Because if you truly want to win, don't block them. Don't give them the luxury of thinking they mattered enough for you to react. Let them watch. Let them regret. Let them sit in silence while you become untouchable. Blocking them feels like a victory, doesn't it? Like you've taken control, like you've erased them from your life. But here's the ugly truth. Blocking is not power, it's a reaction. And reactions mean they still have control over you. The real question is, why do you feel the need to block them in the first place? Because deep down, you still care. And as long as you care, they win. Most people block out of weakness, not strength. It's an emotional escape, a way to silence the discomfort instead of facing it. But here's what nobody tells you. Blocking doesn't make them disappear from your mind. It doesn't erase the memories, the regrets, the what-ifs. You might remove them from your screen, but they still live rent-free in your thoughts. That's why so many people block and then unblock, just to check, just to see if they noticed. That's not power. That's emotional slavery. And let's be honest, when you block someone, what's the first thing they think? Wow, I really got to them. They're still hurt. I must have mattered more than I thought. Blocking feeds their ego. It confirms that they had an impact on you. But imagine this. What if instead of cutting them off, you just disappeared? What if you let them stay, let them see everything and gave them nothing? No reactions, no emotions, no proof that they ever had a hold on you. Look at the greatest Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. They never wasted energy on enemies. They never sought revenge, never let emotions dictate their actions. They mastered detachment, and that's exactly what you need to do. Blocking is an emotional decision, but true strength, true control, that's when you don't need to block them, because you genuinely don't care anymore. Think about it. If you saw your ex today, the friend who betrayed you, the person who doubted you, would they see someone bitter, or would they see someone unshaken, untouchable, thriving beyond their expectations? Because that's the difference between reacting and transcending. The moment you realize their presence no longer affects your emotions, you've already won. You don't need to block them, you just need to make them irrelevant. They say blocking is moving on, that it's the final step to cutting someone out of your life. But let's be real, Blocking isn't closure. It's just a bandage over an open wound. You don't block people you're truly over. You block the ones you secretly hope will notice, the ones you still think about when the room goes quiet, the ones you want to hurt because they hurt you first. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. Blocking is still an emotional response, and anything done out of emotion is a sign that they still have power over you. The strongest people don't block, they don't hide, they don't run. They stand tall, they live well. They make sure that if someone looks back, they don't see a broken version of who they left behind. They see someone who turned the pain into power. Now ask yourself, what's more powerful? Blocking them, making it obvious that you're trying to erase them, or letting them see everything, knowing they have zero access to you? Because here's what will happen. They will check. It might not be today, it might not be next week. But one day, curiosity will get the best of them. They'll go searching for the version of you they left behind, and that's when reality will hit them like a storm. That version no longer exists. You've evolved. You've built yourself in silence. You've become everything they doubted you could be. And the best part? You never needed their absence to push you forward. You did it because you owed it to yourself. You did it because self-improvement is the best revenge. Think about the legends of history. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Did they waste time seeking revenge? Number. They focused on mastery of the mind, of emotions, of themselves. They knew that silence is louder than words, and success is the only response that truly matters. So let them watch. Let them see the transformation. Let them witness what happens when they lose access to someone who refused to be destroyed. Because one day, they will realize losing you was their biggest mistake. And by then, you'll be so far ahead, you won't even care. You think blocking them will set you free. That cutting them off will finally bring you peace. But let me ask you this. If you were truly over them, why do you even need to block them? Why do they still occupy space in your mind? The truth is, blocking is not strength. It's an emotional escape, a way to force distance because deep down, you're still affected. Real power, real freedom. That comes when you no longer need to block them, because they no longer matter. They become just another name, another face, another part of your past that doesn't deserve a reaction. That's when you know you've won. Because here's the reality. When you block someone, you're sending a message. You're saying, "You got to me." And whether they admit it or not, they'll take satisfaction in that. They'll think, "I still have an effect on them." But when you let them stay, when you continue living your life as if they never existed, that's when it eats them alive. Imagine this. One day, out of nowhere, they get curious. They type your name in, expecting to see the same person they walked away from. But instead, they see someone they don't even recognize. Someone who's glowing. Someone who's thriving. Someone who looks better, feels better, is better. And the worst part for them, they can't reach out. They can't disturb your peace. They can only watch. That's what real revenge looks like. Not pettiness, not blocking, just pure, undeniable growth. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That means not stooping to their level, not playing their games, not giving them the satisfaction of knowing they still have an effect on you. Instead, you rise, you build, you evolve, you become the kind of person they'll regret ever losing. So don't block them. Let them stay. Let them see what they walked away from. Let them witness the masterpiece they no longer have access to, because when they realize they lost someone irreplaceable, it'll be too late. And by then, you won't even care. Blocking them might feel like a power move, like you're shutting the door on them, locking them out of your life for good. But real power isn't in cutting them off, it's in showing them you don't need to. The moment you hit that block button, you're admitting that they still have space in your mind, that their presence still affects you. That's not control. That's proof that they still matter to you. Now imagine this instead. Imagine leaving that door wide open, but making it clear that they're no longer welcome. Not by words, not by actions, just by the way you carry yourself. They'll see you living your best life, evolving, growing, and they'll know they're no longer a part of it. That's a different kind of pain. A pain no amount of blocking can ever inflict. Because here's what will happen. They will check. They always do. Whether it takes weeks, months, or even years, curiosity always wins. And when they do, what will they see? A person still dwelling in the past, still bitter, still seeking revenge, or someone unshaken, untouchable, radiating the kind of confidence they never thought you'd have. There's nothing more haunting than realizing the person you once knew no longer exists. That's what true detachment looks like, not bitterness, not blocking, just silence, growth, and undeniable success. That's what really eats them alive. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Think about that. Every reaction you give them, anger, sadness, blocking, it's a sign that they still have control over you. But when you stop reacting, when you show nothing but indifference, that's when they start questioning everything. Let them stay. Let them watch. Let them witness what they lost. Because by the time they realize your worth, they'll also realize something far worse. You moved on long before they even thought to look back. And that's the real victory. There's a reason silence is more powerful than words. A reason why the most haunting revenge isn't loud, isn't aggressive. It's just moving forward without looking back. You think blocking them will make a statement, that it'll show them you're done. But blocking isn't power. It's closure disguised as avoidance. Because let's be honest, if you were truly over them, if you had really moved on, why would you need to erase them? Why would you need to hit that block button just to feel at peace? Real detachment isn't about deleting someone. It's about making them so irrelevant that their presence or absence doesn't even register. And trust me, they will notice. Because nothing stings more than realizing that the person they thought would never move on did. That the one they underestimated, the one they took for granted, didn't just survive without them, but thrived. And the worst part, they can't do anything about it. Think about it. What's more painful, seeing someone struggle after you leave, or watching them glow, level up, and become someone completely out of your reach? That's why you don't block them. You let them see it. You let them witness their biggest mistake unfold in real time. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That means you don't act out of spite. You don't seek revenge through petty actions. You simply focus on one thing, your own evolution. Because when you do that, the universe takes care of the rest. One day they'll check. They'll type your name in. They'll scroll through your life, expecting to see signs of struggle. But what they'll find instead is a version of you they can't recognize. A version that doesn't need them, doesn't think about them, doesn't miss them. And that realization, that's the real punishment. Because by then, you won't even care. You'll be too busy living a life they were never meant to be a part of.